and I'll be right back. Literally just need to get some more water. Oh. JD Scott, what's going on? I'm literally just starting, but I will be back in a second. I just need some liquid. Oh. Oh. What's going on, guys? What is going on? Hey, it's Daggerheart night tonight for me. I'm excited. Got a lot of players, though, again. I've ended up with 6 players. And you're not supposed to play the game with more than 5. So, we did it last week with 6 players as well, so 7 including me. It went okay. It just, whenever you add an extra person to the game, it makes the game go slower. No matter, that's all TTRPGs, obviously. But yeah. Clickbait title, Geeky, you'll have to tell me. I'll tell you what the deal is, and you can tell me. Came in a second, he walked away. Yeah, I'm back now. How's it going, guys? How is everyone over on YouTube, over on Twitch? What is going on? I think I'm at 999 followers on Twitch, so I'm super excited about 1,000. So if anyone's not following me on Twitch and wants to do me a solid... oh no, I'm there! I'm at 1,000 followers! Who did I miss a follow? Was it you? Was it Danathor? Thank you so much for being my 1,000th one. Don't unfollow. Don't unfollow. Don't take this away from me. Ringtail just followed. Okay. Okay, Ringtail. Thank you so much for the follow. You're not I guess you are 1,000. Oh my god. You redid the follower goal? Or is that the... I'm sorry, Danathor, you got undone, I guess. Ringtail, congratulations for being the 1,000th. You jerk. The Real Buttery, thank you for following. Oh, it's... What's up, chat? GPT. Yeah, no, I do want to talk about the title of my YouTube. That was wrong, about Daggerheart and D&D. Because I was a little bit. And we might as well just start with it. Might as well just throw ourselves straight in there and get it out of the way. On my main channel, bonus reaction, right here, I put out a video 2 weeks ago called Daggerheart is crushing my D&D channel viewership. My channel. Named something else originally. I changed the name. I've changed the title as well, but there's been variations of this. And in it, I talk about the... Oh my god, I'm wearing the same shirt. God damn it. In it, I talk about how since I started making Daggerheart content on that channel, views have gone way down. Not just Daggerheart content either. Like, if we look back, it was like Daggerheart came out and we were doing fine. I was pretty happy, to be honest. I had a few flops, and that's bound to happen. I don't want this to sound like, oh, woe is me, YouTube hates me, or the algorithm hates me. I think I've fallen off a little bit. I've been experimenting recently. I was like, okay, we're going to lose some viewership. That's fine. And then it led all the way to the point where I was like just bombing. And I was like, oh my god. And I could see it in the comments. In that video I talk about it, people in the comments did not like me covering Daggerheart if they were D&D fans. But I had an uptick of new Patreons and new like comments saying, I love the Daggerheart stuff, I don't want D&D stuff. And that's why I decided to shift to a 2-channel system. So I could have a separate Daggerheart channel and a separate D&D channel. I still think that was a good idea. Dana Thor, thank you for the subscription to the channel. That's huge. Sorry, you don't need to wear a clean shirt every day. I cannot stress enough. This is clean. It's a clean shirt. I can't stress that. It was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago when I made this video. This is not... It wasn't just sat on my floor back here and I just whip it on and off whenever I need it. It's sad people can't appreciate growth. Look, I also get it. Like... They're two separate things. If you play D&D and I do a deep dive Daggerheart video, then you're not going to watch it. You're just not going to watch it. So I understand it. But the thing I found funny is you get all these videos that pop up on YouTube that do really well, that are like, D&D combat sucks. Here's how to fix it, right? Or D&D travel sucks, or the problem with D&D travel, and they always do so well when you go into that system and try and fix it. But then when you're like, D&D combat sucks, Daggerheart fixes it, people are like, no, how dare you say that about my Daggerheart combat? If you do laundry, you can flex the clean shirt, otherwise we'll give a cheers to... Okay, yeah, it's mostly the wife. Amazing 2 weeks of wearing the same shirt. You guys aren't... No, this isn't... We're not... I'm not Asmongold, okay? We're not talking about that. Right. Clickbaity title, but I love your content. I think it's a legitimate title. I was wrong. I did put it in capitals. I didn't have to put the title in capitals. That's fair. So, I literally said... And I was sure at the time this was the case. Daggerheart was ruining... my D&D channel because viewerships are split. Not because like either one was doing better than the other, it just split my audience. So that's when I created the second channel, which you're watching this on. Subscribe if you haven't. And also I changed my name as well. So I did 2 big changes. Only one Franco, thank you for the follow. I was also doing a bunch of other stuff. I was streaming more, but I'd been streaming more all year and I hadn't noticed a massive change in my viewership. It wasn't until like the past 2 months that I've really noticed it. Anyway, I thought I was going crazy. As you can see here, I put out these... I went back to basics after that, and I put out 2 classic bonus action, now bonus reaction videos. Right? How to structure your D&D games, and how pro D&D DMs stop players getting bored. You have to appreciate that I've changed these titles a number of times, and I've changed the thumbnails a number of times. I'm testing 3 different thumbnails on this one right now to try and, like, try as many different things as possible. The views just ain't viewing. Overall, my channel here is like 25% down in views the past month. 25, and that's across the board. Everything's been affected by it. Please donate to my Patreon so I can afford more red shirts. No. Do subscribe to my Patreon now, but that's because I'm not getting any views anymore. Now, hands up, I'm team, like, I need to make better content. Like, get good, right? I'm team that. I've been through this before. And like when my views have gone down like this before, it's when I've experimented and I've made like some of the best content I've ever made, and I've blown up further than I have done before. So like I'm not against all this. Problem is, I thought I knew what the issue was. I blamed Daggerheart, or I blamed D&D. I blamed the two of them like colliding and not working on the same channel. But it turns out this views being down problem is universal across YouTube. I've seen a bunch of other creators. This is second wind. YouTube is crushing our viewership. It's happening to us. This is like a brand new video which kind of triggered this stream. And here's why our viewership's dropped. The Linus Tech Tips channel, I've said that their views are like down by like 50%. It's crazy. So these are huge creators in comparison to me, all experiencing the same thing. So there's definitely something up with YouTube right now. And there's been a lot of different theories about why. And I think it's hitting the... I can't speak for other D&D tubers, but I think it's hitting a few of us harder than the bigger creators. Because we're smaller creators. And views and view counts often affect click-through rate. If you see a video pop up on your feed about D&D and it's got 100k views, you're far more likely to click on it than if it's got 1000k views. So therefore, views are down, click-through rate goes further down, dragging views down even more. Luckily, I'm not playing Star Trek in my red shirt, yeah. This shirt is maroon enough to be more like Star Trek's, yeah. Yeah, the WAN show went into it a lot. Dan has been diving into all the numbers. Yeah, it's across YouTube. Like, this isn't just like a get good thing, unless everyone's like... There is a chance that the algorithm's changed and the slop we were putting out before isn't working anymore, and that could be it. But I feel like I'm putting out some good videos. And once again, this all comes from a point of just like entitlement as well. Like, am I really putting out... If everything's saying I'm not putting out good videos, I'm maybe not putting out good videos. But it's been hitting me hard. Luckily, now this is where my Patreon does come into play. Since I started making Daggerheart content and homebrewing stuff over there, my Patreon, I think I've got like, I've had like 60 new Patreon members over the past 2 months, which is huge, which is insane for my channel. So thank you. You've single-handedly made me like an extra $100 a month. And that goes some way toward the $600 I've lost since the algorithm change. So I really genuinely appreciate that. And it's been the saving grace here because I feel like I'm falling off. Like, YouTube is telling me my views are like down, my click-through rate's down, I'm bad at videos, I'm bad at thumbnails, I'm bad at all that stuff. But then people are coming onto Patreon and saying, we like your stuff, here's money, there's something here. So it's been like the one thing that's stopping me from just being like, God damn it, I'm bad at YouTube. And it's more like, oh, I've got to figure out how to like win against the algorithm. Last 1 to 2 months of stuff that is served by YouTube has changed overnight. Yeah, the crazy thing is, in the top right of, you can't see it because I'm covering it, top right of YouTube, you can click on your profile picture and you can go down to restricted mode down here. I've got it off. If I turn that on, then I literally lose, like, let's see if it does it now. Like, so some of my, like, here, let me go to popular. Some of my kind of favorite videos that I've done well are like this one at 259k views. How pro D&D DMs create villains. And if I turn, let's see if it works now, because it worked before. If I turn restricted mode on, and then go to popular. That video's gone. That video's straight up not showing up to me anymore. So if you have that on, you're not seeing it. I looked, and about four videos from my like really impressive like 100k view video list are hidden. 1 second, there's something going on outside that's loud. Now my room can get nice and hot. I think overall, if you count up like all the videos that are hidden with the restricted mode on my channel, I've lost like over 1 million views. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on, just in general. Let me catch up on chat here. I noticed YouTube is pushing more political channels lately than anything. Yeah, I've noticed that too. Yeah. I think that I think that's just a sign of like the people though. I think that's the audience, not YouTube so much. You've heard from a lot of Magic creators also dealing with it right now? Yeah. Yeah. I bought Daggerheart, been watching your stuff for 5 days. Nice, thank you, Dan. Yeah, it doesn't... It's just unfortunate that it's come at a time of so much change. Because there's a lot of other stuff at play that could explain this. One is the shift to Daggerheart content, which I've now shifted back on this channel. 2 is I changed my name from bonus action to bonus reaction. That could do something. I changed my profile picture. That could be huge. People aren't just recognizing my stuff straight away. But yeah. So I straight up owe Daggerheart an apology for blaming it for losing me thousands of dollars. It's not it at all. You know? I love it when like I do a yes sensational YouTube title, like I was wrong about Daggerheart, right? Not clickbait. I'm currently telling you why I was wrong about Daggerheart. But yes, I wanted to get you in here. But people will come into a full-on live stream that's going to go for hours and just be like, tell me what this clickbait title means. It's like, that's not how this works. It's not how this works at all. Name change is a huge thing. But bonus reaction to bonus action, sorry, other way around. You really think that's going to make that big of a difference? But yes, there's a few different things. But as we can now see, there's something going on YouTube that is affecting a bunch of people. So it's just nice to know. It's kind of validating a little bit, even though it sucks. There's some other weird nuances about it as well. It's not just that viewership is down for these bigger creators as well. It's that, and I have 100% noticed this, the amount of people who are watching, or the amount of views that are coming through tracked as being watched on computer has dropped for me substantially. It used to be that most people watched my stuff on computer. TV was never that high. Mobile phones was a little bit higher than TV, but computer was always at the top. And now mobile watchers are the most, like, people watching my channel the most. I'm curious, like, how many of you guys are watching on mobile right now compared to like computer? Because it surprised me. I didn't think I would have a mobile crowd. Like, my audience is on the move. Diversifying is not always good, yeah. Do you see this having an impact on your Q4 performance? I've heard that's usually when creators make most in ads. We will see. We'll see. I've only had 2 Q4s as a YouTuber, and both times I've found that ad revenue goes up, but viewership goes down because less people are on YouTube during Christmas. They're spending time with family, doing all that stuff. So it tends to balance out. Maybe I make a little bit more around Christmas, especially if I push like affiliate links and sell D&D stuff. But one thing it will have an effect on is, I think, just sponsorships, because less views, people don't want to sponsor me as much. So I'll lose like a lot from that. But you guys don't care about that. I wanted to apologize to Daggerheart for blaming it for my loss. A lot of YouTubers use multiple thumbnails, see what happens, different titles, all kinds of stuff, just to figure out the algorithm. Yeah. And YouTube's made that easier now, with A/B testing on thumbnails and titles coming out soon. So you guys are going to see YouTubers, like especially on the D&D Daggerheart TTRPG scene, you'll see titles that change, like, by the minute. Like, something will show up on your feed that's like, the Daggerheart scandal just got worse. And then you'll refresh the page and it'll be the same video with a different thumbnail of stuff on fire. And then the title would be like, this TTRPG game scandal just got much worse. And you'll just keep seeing the same thing over and over again, trade until you watch it. Yeah, affiliate links. Nice one. You'll want me join Q4, let me know where to contact you. Oh, well, you don't have to, Baz, but if you're down, my business email is in my channel bio on both channels. The plus side of this is that I've been pushing this channel you guys are watching now, and it is, I think, doing well. I've got almost 3k subscribers, and the videos tend to, it's pretty crazy to be pulling in, like, when you're this small, like, thousands of views. So that's really nice. So thank you everyone who's kind of come over here for Daggerheart stuff. YouTube's been tightening monetization rules lately, especially around reused or AI generated content. Originality and engagement are more important than ever. Keep doing what makes your channel unique. Thank you. Yeah. Don't feel bad for Daggerheart campaign 4. Sure didn't. Look, they're putting stuff out still. We're getting Daggerheart stuff. Thank you for the follow, Klaus Bryan. And thank you for the follow, Valkinos. But yeah. Yeah, apparently a lot of, like, creators who are, these bigger creators have come out and, like, contacted YouTube, and YouTube has kind of just told them, yeah, we changed the algorithm. It shouldn't affect views, just get good. Like, that seems to be the kind of thought process. Get good. And it's fair. Like, that's fair. Like, you gotta push yourself and get better as a creator. They've been recreating their characters in Daggerheart. Something will come soon. Yeah, I think they've talked about that. They're doing a live show where they're using them in Daggerheart, which is cool. Tangent, Etsy has done some testing by using AI to redo shops listing titles without the permission of the shop owner. That's wild. That's Etsy? I thought they were cool. I genuinely thought Etsy was cool, bro. Okay. Can you guys hear music on YouTube, by the way? I feel like I always have to ask that now, since sometimes it doesn't do that. Get good. Yeah. Bigger creators don't have, that have a bit more of, well, they don't actually, because a lot of them have teams. So, like, it really hits them hard as well. I think there are some creators who aren't being affected by this. I think, personally, it's people who get views from mobile and get views from TV. I think a lot of people who get a lot of views from those aren't too affected by it. I think it's the people who get a lot of views from computers who are, like, really seeing the downvotes on their content. But they should fix it soon. It's just a matter of when. But so far, they're not even admitting to there being an issue. Yeah, music's good. Nice. Music on YouTube is okay. Yeah, the computer algorithm's bad. And, like, did you guys say, like, what are you watching this on right now? Are you guys on computer? Ringtail said computer over there. Dust still said mobile. David said mobile. JD Scott says tablet, which is wild, because that's my lowest. You're, like, the only person who watches me on a tablet. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot going on. It's just, can be frustrating sometimes, but as frustrating as it is, I'm doing something I love doing, and it's a joy to do. So, as long as I can for the time being, as long as I can pay rent and put food on my table, I'm more than happy to keep doing it and go through this frustration. But yeah, join my Patreon. Alright, on to the character sheet I saw. Put out a new video. Fresh off the presses.
Critical Role.
I've not watched this yet. But I'm finding the Critical Role. I want to talk as a viewer, not a creator anymore. The the character sheet on comicboy.com is crazy. They're pumping out just like videos about tweets. This got 37k views. Oh, we should do that. We should do that. And they're just pumping out videos like daily, like, and just like going for it. So they're definitely using sensational, whether you think it's clickbait or not, they're definitely using like sensationalized content here. So let's just see what this one is about. Critical Role live show reveals Daggerheart issue. So we'll find out what the issue is, which should be fun. Let me know how this
live
sounds.
show may have revealed why they passed on Daggerheart for Campaign 4, World of Warcraft keeps shutting down fan servers, and some big news for one. Critical Role finally gave their YouTube and Twitch audiences a chance to watch.
Also, character sheet, like, I actually love your content. I look to you a lot for news. Stop asking people to subscribe straight off the bat. You must see such a dive in viewership. Well, I can't talk. My viewership's shot at the moment anyway, I guess. But I wouldn't be. I would put this in the middle or something when you ask for people to subscribe. It's the first 20 seconds of your video is like so important. And that comes from a creator that fell off though. So I'll tell that with
their Oath and Ash live show from Indianapolis, which features the Bells Hells now converted over to Daggerheart and exploring some consequences for their actions in Campaign 3. And while the story and chemistry and the costumes were as amazing as ever, we may have just seen the real reason why Daggerheart wasn't used for Campaign 4. Now, granted, this was a much bigger table than we will see in Campaign 4, with Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins joining the cast in their final massive combat, a combat which became an absolute slog at points.
Oh, maybe spoilers, I guess, for this live show.
With players sometimes waiting 40 minutes or more between their turns, the cast seemed very reluctant.
Players waiting 40 minutes or more between their turns is crazy.
To do anything for fear of, well, fear. As every time they rolled with fear, Matt would take an entire activation with their enemies, which really isn't even really how Daggerheart recommends you run a combat, as they suggest mixing up those kind of, quote, hard actions with softer environmental or other types of reactions to keep the combat flowing. Instead, what resulted was the players worrying about rolling with fear and shifting the combat back over to Matt and keeping someone else from having their turn, and Matt constantly giving the bad guys full activations every time they did roll with fear instead of those reactions or environmental actions mentioned in the running a combat section of the Daggerheart campaign book. The players clearly weren't super sure of how to proceed in a major combat like this, which really dragged it out, and the chat started to notice how long and painful parts of this combat really were. Now, eventually, like in Age of Umbra, they just started saving up hope and doing a bunch of team-up attacks to take down the big bad, but it really did show that they need a little more time getting the rules right and getting comfortable with the system before they're ready to start a full-on long-form campaign. But we suspect with a couple more mini-campaigns under their belts in the near future, those kinks will get ironed out pretty soon.
This is great for my self-esteem.
Okay, so he's saying that the issue with Daggerheart and why they didn't use it for Campaign 4, or one of the reasons, could be that they don't know the system well enough yet. And the evidence for that is that in this live show, they were stumbling over themselves and taking a really long time to act in combat. But how many players were at this table? Do we know? You watched it live on Beacon a while ago. It was great fun, but you can tell it was a newer system for the players. Wait, when did this come out then? When was it out on Beacon? You watched it last night, but I didn't think it was a slog. Yeah. The question you got to ask yourself is, what would have happened if it was D&D? And how long would that have taken? Because I still stand by. It was Beacon a couple of weeks ago. Right. I still stand by the fact that when I've looked back over Daggerheart's combat from Critical Role in Age of Umbra, and I've looked back over D&D combat from their campaigns, Daggerheart is like 20 minutes quicker on average. And that's what I've found in my games as well. If I'm being completely honest, I did a a game last week where my players fought a Colossus from Colossus of the Drylands, and that combat was slow. But I did have 6 players, and you're not normally supposed to play with more than 5. And it was a big bad boss. But like it was heavy hitting combat. Like I had a player character get unalived. Look, the algorithm scared me so much I can't even say died. That's where I'm at right now. Yeah, the entire combat would have lasted at least an hour longer in D&D. They did all seem very hesitant to take bold moves. Was it that they were scared to do stuff because Matt might be able to do stuff, or were they also just like trying to make sure that other people went first and didn't want to hog the spotlight? I think if there's a problem with Daggerheart initiative, if you wanted to like really go after something, especially with actual players, it's that if you take initiative and you go more than other people, even though like in an actual play, people need to go, so you need people to take the initiative, you can come across as a jerk very easily by people just being like, oh, wow, Liam just went like 3 times before Taliesin went. And in Critical Role, they get a lot of crap for doing stuff like that. So I can imagine, like, people go after, the amount of times I've seen, funnily enough, it's often the women. I wonder why that is. But the amount of times I've seen people go after Critical Role players being like, wow, they took the spotlight, they did this, they said that was so rude, or whatever, and like blow it out of proportion. And I think with Daggerheart, it's probably easier to come across like that when you're actually just like taking hold of the reins and driving the bus a little bit. You think Matt was overdoing his turn? That's something I noticed as well when I went and looked at like the D&D combat, timed it, and I timed Daggerheart combat. Even though D&D combat was overall faster, the GM turn was slower with Daggerheart, and they got way more GM turns, because in D&D you have to wait for 6 other players to go, and then you get to go again. But in Daggerheart, the DM kind of gets to go like probably an average of like 3 or 4 times while it goes around the table and everyone else gets to go. And you tend to do more. You can do more. You tend to do more. I think a big thing with Daggerheart is literally coming up with ways to speed up the GM turn, which I think is very easy to do. I think GMs just need to like act and just do things really fast. But I think that's an issue in Daggerheart. I think GMs are taking too long, like me included, because I'm still trying to get used to what I can do, what I should do, how to like what does the narrative say, and all that stuff. But we'll get there. And even if it is longer in Daggerheart, because everyone is invested constantly, it feels more cohesive. That's very true as well. Yeah. Have I thought about doing a one-shot for Patreon members? It might help drive subs over there. I have thought about it. I've also thought, I've been thinking recently of playing a Daggerheart session with YouTube chat or Twitch chat or both. We kind of played around with that with D&D, like earlier in the year, where I created a character with chat, and the idea was that this D&D player character had loads of voices in their heads, and that was Twitch chat or YouTube chat, all telling them to do stuff, and then we would kind of vote on things to do. But the difficulty there was like I found the D&D character sheet just a little bit too difficult to get up on the screen and be like, what do you guys want to do? Because we had like the ability to click on the screen any way you want, and I can turn it on actually, I think. So if I go over here, do I have it? Tap map. Let's see it. Leave it out. If you're on Twitch, you should be able to just click on the screen on Twitch now, and it should show up. I think. No, I gotta turn it on. Hold on. This can be research and development for our first ever online 100-person Dagger Heart game. Oh, nope. I guess they updated it. I don't have it anymore. I'll have to like reinstall it. It's a issue for another time. But yeah, I think there's something there where I can just get up the some cards on the screen, some abilities, and some information from a character sheet. We might even like streamline it down a little bit more, and then I can be your guys' GM, and I can take you through scenarios, and you can vote on abilities to use and what to do in each scenario. And I think it could be a lot of fun. And I think it could be a great way to kind of teach new people mechanics of Daggerheart as well. Because we'll all be doing it together. Obviously, it wouldn't be like proper Daggerheart. It would be extremely bastardized. But I think it could be fun. Where's Grandad Crazy Nape on stage too? You leave them alone. They're the best. My advice for any GM who is running Daggerheart, watch Kung Fu movie fights or well choreographed action scenes. You'll want to play combat like a cinematic fight scene. Dapper. Or anime. I think anime is really good for that kind of moment because anime has... it has that fast choreographed action. Boom, boom, boom. I hit you, you hit me. Camera whip pans to another fight. That's going on. But then it will slow down and freeze time. And you'll see what everyone's thinking in a moment. And they'll be like, how do I get past this person's defenses? And then it'll speed back up again. And I think Daggerheart and D&D as well should have that kind of momentum because it is all frozen. But then everything does happen at once, and then it is all frozen again. But yes, Dapper, thank you for the subscription to the channel. You might have a nice idea about such an interactive stream thing. Maybe I can pitch it to you sometimes in the future. Brown Fox, I'm here right now if you want to... Or is it, like, very complex? Power build up for an entire episode. Okay, not Dragon Ball. I'm not saying... I'm not saying you spend a session with the spotlight on you just screaming as you, like, power up a fireball or something. There's a middle ground. There's a middle ground. Folks, I would recommend Feng Shui as a system if you want to play a Kung Fu movie. I only played in a Mortal Kombat campaign using Feng Shui. Oh, a Mortal Kombat campaign sounds awesome. Also, you definitely inspired me to record your own Daggerheart content, so thank you for that. No worries, Dapper. Are you enjoying that process? Over 5,000. Over 5,000! Yeah. It's complex, and it's also somehow built in a background story for own TTRPG. Oh, interesting. Okay, fair enough. Hey, you're from upstate central New York. What's up, Kitsune? Upstate / central New York. Do you feel like you often have to specify that it's the state, not the city, when you tell people you're from New York? But we'd work D&D and Daggerheart as well, I guess. First time, I definitely filmed and went, wow, that was bad. So I'm giving it a second shot. Dude, I know you guys want me to do it as well, so I'm preaching to the choir. I really am getting in the mood to do an actual play on this channel. I'm just slowly getting that urge. After watching the Dungeon Dudes say that, like, it's made their game better because everyone takes it more seriously. And everyone's, like, showing up on time and putting effort into, like, role-playing and, like, I don't know. Like, yes, they're, like, trying to entertain an audience, but they're trying to entertain each other, too. And I just kind of want to get that vibe of something a bit more that feels a bit more like a show than a game. Whether I would enjoy it or not, we won't know until I do it. But, like, I'm down. By the way, we can't see chat on stream. Thank you. Do you guys prefer having chat there? Obviously, you would for the sake of me answering questions that you can't see. But yeah, I feel like it takes up too much, though. I feel like it takes up too much room. Maybe if I move over here. Thank you for that. Oh no, you got COVID, Kitsune? That sucks, man. Hopefully you're coming through the worst of it. You need to do at least a Dagger Heart for play. Yeah. I've been putting it off. And I'm going to continue to put it off. But then one day I'll do it. There's always going to be an excuse. The main excuse is I'm scared. I'm scared of how I'll come across. But equally, right now, because my channel's so like up in the air, I kind of can't take a risk like that because it is a risk. But hopefully soon. Maybe that's what you'll sponsor. It probably won't happen in the next few months. By the way, I didn't want to discuss this too much here, but this Canadian guy, Black Magic Craft, he recently uploaded a video about his new publishing strategy with a daily video. I know you did similar. Like how he's publishing videos, you mean? You'd film a playthrough and cut it down to bite-sized chunks. That's true as well. I've even thought about filming a playthrough and then analyzing it like I do other DMs online, just in like the exact same way. Yeah, Jeremy's been vlogging more. Oh, I want a Daggerheart one-shot at a convention, and when you hit a groove with Daggerheart, it really plays well. I want to see more actual players to see moments like it. Yeah, I've been tempted. I've been very tempted. Oh yeah, did you guys see... Let me get it up.
Blizzard.
Oh wait. God damn it, YouTube. Okay, so this is the perfect example of this situation. I saw a video literally earlier today on D&D Shorts channel, and it was about D&D being too easy. So I was like, I'm gonna go get it up, and I go to his channel, and it's not there anymore. And I'm like, did he take it down? And I realized I left restricted mode on YouTube, so it's not showing me the damn video. So this is a prime example of that crap happening right there. It's still doing well, though. It's still doing well, in all fairness to it. But yeah, the fact that YouTube hid that for me is a pain.
We have to talk
Absolute
about
pain.
is curses. Rolling with a plus. Okay.
All right. So, I tried to follow Prophecy advice. Try and watch within a day of posting and try to leave a comment or 7 words or more and don't scroll back. Alright, I gotta say, I also love Professor DM. It's all magic. No one knows how this is working, and I'm confident. I genuinely believe. In fact, I've looked at my analytics. I like comments. I love comments. But I don't think they affect much with my channel. And everyone's channel is different, of course. I think likes are a big thing. I think, but we all know it's like click-through rate. Like, are people clicking on a video and are people watching it for a long time are like the biggest indicators. I'm confident if I made a video that people, like, everyone clicked on and everyone watched all the way through and no one liked and no one commented on, that would get 1 million views. So yeah, with the stuff that's like, leave a comment of 7 words or more and don't scroll by a recommended video. I don't I'm not sure I believe that stuff. I think if that's what people want you to do, creators to do not feel the need to do that for me. In fact, I'm more scared that when people just come into my video and leave exactly 7-word comments, that maybe follow the same pattern that are like, we love this channel or whatever. I'm scared that YouTube's going to flag that as bot behavior, right? Like, if you do the exact same thing and it's like unusual, I think the best thing you can do for a creator, and now obviously, hands up here, it's not working right now, I don't think, because YouTube's broken it. But YouTube will fix this algorithm situation. And when we get balance again, the best thing you can do for a YouTuber is watch the stuff you want to watch and don't watch the stuff you don't want to watch. And if you get bored and click off, don't feel bad about it, because all that's going to happen is that YouTuber is going to look at analytics like I've been doing and be like, okay, people don't like this content. People watch this content for longer. And comment as well. Comment if you don't like something, because that's huge. Look at the feedback. And then people, like, creators will just make the content you want. They will slowly merge themselves. The only reason I get, like, annoyed with that kind of stuff is that I think there is an art form to YouTube. I'm not saying that I'm a good YouTuber. I'm not. I've got so much more to learn. But that's the point. I, like, want to push myself to learn, to become a better editor, to become better on camera, to become better at playing the algorithm. And if people just watch my stuff to support me, I'm going to lose so many subscribers now. But if people just watch my stuff and I can like skate by on like just that kind of support, then I'm not going to incentivize myself to do better, which is not what I want. Like, if I make a video that no one clicks on and no one wants to watch, then I need to know that. I don't want people coming in and commenting on it. I think if you want to support creators, I think like Patreon is the best way to do that. If you want to like go out your way to do it. But don't watch stuff you don't enjoy to support the person, because I think that sends the wrong message to YouTube, personally. Anyway, that's my rant. I'm lagging, Bards Forge. How much? How bad? Right, haikus. Everyone watching, like the stream to get the word out to more people. Everyone watching, if you like the stream, like the stream. But, you know, if you don't like what I'm doing here, don't. Just a little not as is that on Twitch? Okay, I think it's improved itself a little bit. It says excellent on there now. But we'll see. Anyway. Hold on, I've got the music on freaking loop over there. So. D&D Shorts did a video a couple of days ago, 2 days ago, said, so it's just impossible for players to fail in D&D now. And is it? And in it, he talks about the fact that D&D seems to be built on the idea that players should succeed as much as possible. It feels bad to fail. It feels good to succeed. And because the most important part of D&D is that the players are having fun, they should never fail and always succeed. I'm not saying that everyone plays like that, but I do agree that the way the books are laid out and the way the game is built is that it's very hard for players to fail in a big way. And as a DM, I always wanted them to succeed more than anything else, because that's just kind of how I was wired, and I wanted my friends to have a good time. And it got me thinking, and in his video he talks about like tips to make D&D more difficult, and he mostly talks about hidden resources. So rather than going for HP, which doesn't do much, make them use spell slots, take away their abilities, and then they're going to be in like dire straits. And I agree with it. I think it's a very, very good video. But it got me thinking about Daggerheart in general, which has failure built into the roles to an extreme extent, where like there's 50-50 chance that you're going to fail. There's 25% chance that you're going to fail in a big way. fail with consequences, right? And then there's 50% chance that you will just fail, 25% chance you'll succeed with like a consequence. So that's already built in, and I love that about Daggerheart. Sorry, I've got some, but yeah. So in my last game, I had a PC die, and it's my first Daggerheart death, but also I played D&D for like 5 years weekly, and I've never been able to kill a character. Not through like I'm trying either, but just because there's so many like stops there. There's so many ways to stop a character from dying. I've had one person die, and that was because of a deck of many things card being pulled that made him fall down a hole, and I gave him multiple ways to kind of save himself, and he chose not to. So apart from something like that happening, if the player didn't want to die, there's so many things to stop it from happening. The first one is just like the prevalence of like healing spells in D&D, and like every party has a healer. And the second thing is death saving throws. It's so hard to die. It's like stacked against you. First of all, you've got to hit 0 HP. Then you have to roll badly for at least 2 rounds if you roll a nat 1, but more likely 4 or 5 rounds of combat. That's time when people can't heal you, or the combat has to keep going for someone to die. Hot take, dying is fun. Not every party has a healer. That is true. And you can make D&D harder, and some people play like that. But I'm just saying that I'm playing Daggerheart the exact same way I played D&D for 5 years, and at level 2, I've had a player character die. And in all fairness to this situation, that person chose the Blaze of Glory death move, which means that they went down to 0 HP, and then they chose to get a crit, and their character dies. They could have chosen to go down and go unconscious, and they would not die. Or they could have chosen the gamble, the 50-50, where they die or they get back up with like almost full health or whatever. But unlike D&D, if you go to 0 HP in Daggerheart, there's a very good chance that your character will be nerfed forever or dead, right? There's no guarantee, because if you choose to just go unconscious, there's a 50-50 chance that you get a scar and you lose a really powerful resource from your character sheet forever. And then if you keep doing that, you keep losing that resource, and once you have 0 of that resource, you're out the game because you can't play anymore. So that's why I love Daggerheart combat and death so much. This also, I think, opened everyone's eyes to the fact when this PC died. I think it's like everyone was like, oh, that can happen. And now I think we'll see what happens in this game tonight, but I have a feeling all my players are going to be playing a lot more cautiously and feeling a lot more tense about the whole thing. Scars aren't that easy to get. I thought D&D Addict, you just rolled your dice, and if you roll with fear, you get a scar. Oh, you have to roll under your level. Wait. Let me get this. This is important information for me to know. Let me get this up. Death moves. Daggerheart. No, you guys are right. You guys are right. So, if you avoid death, your character avoids death and faces the consequences. They temporarily drop unconscious, and when you work with the GM to describe how your situation worsens, your character can't move or act while unconscious, they can't be targeted by an attack, and they return to consciousness when an ally clears 1 or more of their max hit points, or when they finish a long rest. After your character falls unconscious, roll your hope die. If the... Oh, my bad. Yeah, okay, sorry. I confused it with Risk It All on this. if its value is equal to or under your character's level, they gain a scar. So you're rolling a d12. So if you are level 1, there's 1 in 12 chance. You guys are 100% right. And if you're level 10, am I getting that right? If you're level 10, there's a very high chance you take a scar, right? So it gets increasingly harder the more you level up. Or it gets increasingly easier to take a scar. Yeah, it gets increasingly more likely the higher you add to level up. Okay, so yeah, my bad. It's not 50-50 chance. But still, it's like, it definitely puts a lot more tension on the whole idea of going unconscious. It's kind of scary. Mark, how is it going? Daggerheart is tough to play with gamblers, though. It's tough not to take the 50-50. Oh, that's the point. Isn't that the fun part, though? In a long campaign with character development, that's costly. I feel like I wouldn't allow it all the time. Yeah. I don't know. I think if you have a long-running campaign, what's the answer there? If you don't want... Because what you're saying, Brycing, is that, like, you want to develop characters long-term, but the same player keeps dying, rolling with 50-50, and then having to play it, get another character. I think you have to ask your players not to do that, or give them more health potions. Like, there's ways to stop them from going down as much. I find that I think it's the other thing that's the issue. I think people want to go out with a bang, so people are just going to keep choosing Blaze of Glory. I'd be very surprised if anyone at my table chooses to go unconscious. But yeah, it's a 58% chance on the risk it all option. 58% chance that you take a scar or don't take a scar. Yeah, risk it all is similar odds to D&D death saves, except it's just for a single roll. Right. Still, it's crazy. Because I feel like if I, as a GM, am playing D&D, and I roll 2 crits in a row against the same character, that character is most probably down. If I'm playing with the rule that if I do double their health into the minus threshold that they die, then that's something else. But on average, if I crit a D&D player twice in a row, they're probably just going to get healed and be back in the fight and fine. If I do that in Daggerheart, then they have to make a huge decision. Like, it's a game-changing moment that may change their character forever. And I think that's pretty sweet. I think death moves are just, like, more brutal in Daggerheart. And I do think D&D has an issue with it being too hard to get to that point. I had a player go Blaze of Glory in the final battle of a one-shot. It's the perfect one-shot move. It is. It makes a game so memorable. It's a really bad example, and in both games it depends on what you are fighting. So you think that D&D is equal to Daggerheart when it comes to, like, how brutal the death moves are? What's the point of having a fight without risk? So this is a very good argument from people that you should have the risk in there. I kind of think there are tables who don't need it. I think it's... You can't... It goes both ways. Like, there are tables out there who just want to play... Sometimes I play video games on easy mode because I want an escapist vibe. I don't want to be dying. I want to feel powerful. And I think that's fine. I think that is fine. I think the biggest difference is that D&D wants you to role play as heroes. That's the game. Certainly the current system is it wants you to role play as heroes. It wants you to be heroes. It wants you to be incredibly powerful. It wants you to overcome the evil, and it wants everyone to survive and be happy at the end. I think that is kind of what it thinks about as a system. And then Daggerheart is narrative first, which is such a key word, but I think here it's true. I think Daggerheart cares about telling a good story. You can see that from the way that fear can add consequence at any given moment, which most players don't like, but it makes the story more interesting. And I think death, the potential of death, makes for a better story, even though some players might not particularly like it. And I think that's the biggest difference. Like, one is about like being superpower, like a superhero, and the other is about like potentially mourning the loss of a loved one and going through what that means to that character. And I think that's the biggest difference between the games on like a much bigger level as well. If you were like trying to decide which one you'd want to play, it is that like, yeah, do you want to be a superpowered hero, or do you want to deal with like a twisty, turny narrative that you don't know where it's going to go, and it might go into some dark places? Character death in tabletop games has always been an argument. Yeah, I think we can all agree, though, it's not an argument. Every table is different. And if you're a GM who will sit there and say, oh, you can die in my games no matter what, then, like, you need to be a bit more open-minded to other ways of playing, because there are many different ways of playing. Here's the thing, though. Even with the death moves in Daggerheart, you can still die without being able to take them. The rules for death moves are specifically for dropping to 0 hit points in combat. Yeah. Yeah. Would you guys say that was the same with D&D, though? If someone in D&D jumped into a volcano, I would say they just die. You know, I wouldn't be like, okay, you're like in the lava now. You're on death moves. Every 6 seconds, you're going to roll. There are no death moves in D&D. I think that DMs who run the game strictly based off CR need to learn how to balance, making encounters more challenging. Yeah. Death can really drive emotions in all directions, but I count it as a good thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've been kind of thinking, because the end of my last session, the players had fought the Colossus, and the player character died, and the end of that fight is the end of the session. And I don't know whether to start the new session with them right there, dealing with the death, or have a time skip of a little bit, like get them back to town, give them a moment to breathe, like, and just say we move past the whole watching their friend die thing. I'm just gonna ask them what they want to do, I think. But yeah, it can be a heavy process sometimes. I'm not saying always go for the really, really dark stuff. Make sure your players are fine with it first. Oh, there goes my camera. Too hot in here. Hold on. Oh, look how small I am. Oh, don't do this to me, camera. I feel like this makes my eyes, like, way more blue. You've one-shot 16th level barbarians in D&D. Like, killed them outright. I must admit, that rule that if you double their health and damage the other way is very hardcore. So I've got to give D&D that. That is like, if you can just flat out kill a character like that with no way out, that is hardcore. And I think in that world, we should start homebrewing some kind of death move. Like, if you do that to a player, they should be able to Blaze of Glory their way to death. Because there's just no enjoyment in that at all. And often the DM doesn't mean to do it. Like, they've got a powerful villain. And in fact, a DM should never mean to do it. A DM should never be out to one-shot a character into oblivion. But yeah. But that's why I also like the idea of a similar homebrew rule in Daggerheart, which is if you do double super massive damage, they flat out die. I'm curious why you talk, Abel, all the fear in Daggerheart making the game better, and yet want to skip the moments after a character death. Because some players might have experienced something recently in their life that they don't want to revisit, because we're talking about death. Would be the big one, I guess. Is it only me who has some scratchy noise? Oh, let me know if you guys are hearing scratchy noises. You rolled 4 straight nat 20s with an enhanced fire giant. That's wild. That's like TPK. I've never had a total party kill yet. I do want to get that badge of honor at some point, but I want it to be... I do not want that to be something that I'm seeking out aggressively. If I speak louder, it might be that my microphone's peaking. I've honestly been playing around with the settings of this, and I've never got it quite right. Let me try turning down the gain. Am I too quiet now? Or am I good? Am I solid? It's all about the gains. Yeah. Yeah, do let me know. I can't hear myself, so you guys are my eyes and ears on this stuff. You're my tech. You're my tech support. But yeah. So, what do you guys do? Are you guys in games right now? Are you playing Daggerheart? Are you playing D&D? Are you playing something else? And when's your TTRPG night? And I was keeping up on the Daggerheart Kickstarters. Which Daggerheart Kickstarters? The only one I know about is the card one. And I'm surprised they've not given us a release date for that yet. Dungeon Master Quest, playing Daggerheart here. Nice. How are you finding it? Currently playing a fully homebrewed system. That's crazy, Nolan. How are you finding that? There's something that I've always thought about doing, but I understand it's a lot of work. I wanted to. This system probably exists, and you can tell me if you know of it. But I wanted to run a system that's like a Final Fantasy style sci-fi vibe with fantasy elements, but all the characters are the same. There's no different subclasses or classes. It's more what weapons you pick up and what armor you put on that all have special abilities that shift you into different kind of classes. But you can switch at any point. So you can be level 6 and you might switch an assault rifle for a sniper rifle and switch heavy armor for like armor with a jetpack, and now you're like playing very differently. Into the Odd is like that, isn't it? I'll have to check it out. Playing a Daggerheart homebrew tweak for your daughter. Ooh, how's it homebrewed? What are the tweaks? You're supposed to be involved in 3 different games of Daggerheart? Holy. but every single group has scheduling issues for the next month and a half. That sucks. I feel like you can combine those 3 groups and just take the people who don't have scheduling issues and just play a weekly game with them and screw everyone else. You have such systems soulbound. Ooh. Soulbound has a nice way to customize your weapons. Yeah, okay, that's the kind of thing I'm thinking about kind of running. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, I've been pretty lucky. This is the first time in a long time that I felt like I've had an abundance of players. Normally I've been able to get like... I'm very lucky that I live with my wife. Shock horror. I know, how untraditional of me to live with my wife. And she's an avid player. So I kind of always have one player ready to go. And I'll play with 3 players, no issue. Whatever system. So I've always kind of been able to get a game together with at least 3 other people. On average, when I've run long-term campaigns, I've had 4 or 5 players. And when 1 or 2 people have scheduling issues, we just play, we just play without them. But now for the first time, I have too many people interested. I don't think it's Daggerheart, I think it's just the time of year or something. But last week and this week, I'm playing with 7 players. Well, other people come in to try it out. 7 of us all together, 6 players. But I'm gonna have to say next week we're going back. 5 is the max I'll do with Daggerheart. Mostly because we just don't have the room. Like the table gets pretty packed with too many people. But it's nice. It's nice to not be scrambling for players. She not joining chat today. She might be watching, but I hope she's not, because we're talking about my session a little bit, about the next session. But she wasn't working for a little bit, which was when she was coming in and hopping around and stuff. Now she's back to work at a new job, so she's like, giving it her all. Any tips for 1-player sessions? Like just you and 1 player? I mean, I've not done that with Daggerheart in general, but I think I would say the 1-player Daggerheart sessions is to be very communicative and open, and give them lots of peeks behind the curtain. Like, don't put up your wall and just be like, okay, I am the DM and you are a player. What do you do? Because I feel like one-on-one, you need to feel a bit more equal. You need to feel a bit more like there's a give and take there. I think with multiple players, you can put up that wall and just be like, I am a disembodied voice controlling the world, and you don't know what's going to happen now. But I think if it's just 2 of you, you should be like, okay, I'm just going to roll on this random encounter table to see what happens. I think it's just more fun that way. Spin a story together. That as well, yeah. Really lean into the collaborative stuff. I play with 6 players like forever. Felt bad playing with that many when I was running D&D, but now it feels nice with Daggerheart. Yeah, I always like the idea of playing with more people. I think it's nice because if people cancel, you can still play, no issue. Like if you have 5 players and 2 people cancel, you can still play with 3. But recently I've got to say, I think it's because Daggerheart is a new system. I would like to try playing with less people just to see what that's like, because I've only played with at least 5. But it really depends on the table. If you have a table of very fast-moving individuals, then sure, like you can have as many players as you want. But if you have a table of people who are getting used to the system or just like to really take their time, less people is always going to be better. Being a fan of your PCs is all the more important when there's one PC. Yeah. Yeah, but you can really lean into that with one PC. You can really tell a story like The Witcher. You know, you can really tell a story where there's one hero, and lean into that. Daggerheart with 3 plus a DM was a blast. Yeah, that's kind of what I want to try. I want to try 3 players. Daggerheart. We'll see. I'm sure I'll get... players come and go. So right now I have an abundance. In a couple of months, I'll be sat here telling you I have no one to play with. So... you just gotta let it happen. The biggest group constantly of Pathfinder was, I guess, 7 players. It was fun in a different way. Yeah, 7. I've never done 7 players. I really think they need to know the game. All the players need to be, like, experienced in the game. Even better if a few of them have, like, GM'd in the past. If you've got a few dungeon masters in there who kind of understand it and, like, understand what you're doing, that can go a long way to making things run smooth. Pure chaos, yeah, I bet. Alright. I wanted to do... I might not do it today because my camera's broken and I'm a little bit broken, and I do have to go pick up snacks for tonight's game, and it's 4 o'clock now. So I was gonna go a little bit longer, but I might stop this soon and maybe quickly try and edit a video together from it. What happened to my... oh, my chat's just up there with this camera, I guess. Can someone update me on how he was wrong? Humble, my views were going down this past, like, 2 months, and I blamed Daggerheart, and Daggerheart content on my main channel. And I blamed it pretty hard. I blamed it to the point where I made a whole second channel about it and moved Daggerheart content over here, and then had that separation between church and state. But it turns out that a load of different bigger YouTubers have all come out and said that they too are experiencing a severe drop in views. Some of them saying 50% less over the past 2 months. So it wasn't actually Daggerheart's fault. It was YouTube's. So that's why I was wrong. Do I always do snacks? In your game, the players mostly take care of that. The players still bring stuff. Usually the wife will make sure it's snacked up and she like cleans house and everything. But she's super busy at the moment, so I'm going to go and grab some stuff. But usually people will bring like a few beers and a few snacks, which is nice. But better to have more than too little. Oh yeah, you love the inspirational quote.jpg. Thank you. I must admit, I like having that in the background. I think I've had the camera set up in other places in this room, and I always enjoy having that in the shot. You concerned leaving a comment saying splitting your channel based... Hey, Humble, I appreciate that. I've had a lot of comments about that. Most people seem to be on board. They always say with YouTube, just do what is best for the viewers, right? Like, forget everything else. Whatever you think is good for the viewers, do that. And that's kind of where I based my thought process. I was like, look, if I was someone who played Daggerheart and didn't really like D&D content, I would want a second channel that is separate, that I can go to for that. And if I was a fan of D&D and I wanted D&D content, I wouldn't want my like D&D tuber to be making Daggerheart content every other video. So that's kind of was my final thought on that. And I don't regret it still. I like having this channel. And this channel's doing well. Say it's so small. I'm a big fan. Once I get it monetized, I'll be even more of a fan. I just need more watch hours. I think I might have it now. It's just 5 days delayed. So it'll take 5 days for the YouTube system to clock that I'm over 4,000 watch hours. Then I think it takes like a week or two to actually get monetized. But then, baby, I'll be making like $10 a month from this bad boy. So, well, then it's only up from there. Before long, it'll be $15. Don't worry about it. Hot take, Daggerheart and D&D aren't different enough mechanically or flavorfully for both to thrive. What do you mean for both to thrive? You mean on the same channel? Are you saying there's like the town's not big enough for the both of them and one will fail? What they also say is don't overly advertise one channel on the other. That might bring non-returning views, which is bad for the channel. Yeah. I think the D&D Daggerheart divide is close enough for I'm not too worried about that stuff. But I think overly relying on one channel to bring viewers into another channel is bad. But we'll see. I mean, is everyone in YouTube right now? I am curious. Is everyone in YouTube Daggerheart players? Or some of you D&D fans who don't care about Daggerheart that much, but just saw the stream come up and were like, let's find out what he's talking about. It's better to cultivate an audience that cares about hearing your voice rather than hearing you talk about a specific topic. What happens if the topic goes out of your style or you lose interest? Humble, do you know how hard it is to cultivate an audience that cares about hearing my voice? Do you know how like win the lottery that is? I agree. I 100% agree. But if the goal is to do this as a living and make money from it and like function with it, you gotta focus on niches first. I mean, don't get me wrong, I just don't think I have the personality to pull off just pulling in people purely. Like, I don't think I could just make a video and talk about cheese and people would watch. I think very few people could do that. It's just the way it is. Both can thrive like there are first-person shooters doing well. Yeah, both can thrive. Pathfinder does well, and Pathfinder is much closer to D&D. You're absolutely right, Humble. Daggerheart player there. Hello, Dan. Brown Fox should neither. You don't like D&D or Daggerheart. Yeah, I think having the two channels under a TTRPG umbrella, because I will also make videos on both channels, not about D&D or Daggerheart. I will make videos about the TTRPG space in general, and about Critical Role as well, because I think that's the umbrella that covers all of it. But I think for my focused, heavy-hitting stuff, it's nice to be like, okay, that's a D&D thing. Okay, that's a Daggerheart thing. Because I saw the comments. I saw people being like, another Daggerheart comment, I'm unsubscribing. Another Daggerheart video, I'm unsubscribing. I'm like, man, I wish you didn't have to do that. I'm just here because of me. Brown Fox, stop it. I only played Daggerheart, watch both. Oh. You're a role player, period. I like that, chat GPT. I DM D&D, but very likely to switch to Daggerheart after this campaign if the players are on board. I hope they are. I started GMing Daggerheart for one group. It's great. Yeah. What's up, Coulson? Dent. The dent is really kind of hurts. Okay. Okay. I don't have a dent in my head, guys. Ignore the chat. What's the plan for the second channel now? Well, it's also the place where I stream. So we're on the second channel now, the smaller channel now. I was unsure what streaming was doing to my content as well. There's a lot of stuff going on YouTube right now, and I'm not sure how any of it is affecting me, or whether I am just falling off as a creator. But I'm going to continue to stream here, and I'm going to continue to make Daggerheart content here. And the reason why I'm streaming here is because I'm playing Daggerheart right now, and I'm mostly talking about, when I'm talking about my games and that kind of stuff, it just makes sense to have it on the Daggerheart channel. But I would love to get this channel monetized. I would love to make weekly, if not bi-weekly videos on this channel, like I do my other channel. And I would love to get this up to a couple of $100 a month earnings, because that way, if stuff happens and my other channel doesn't do as well like it is now, I can lean on this one, and then I can go back and lean on that one when this one's not doing that well. I may have shot myself in the foot because the two niches are so similar, that it might be that when D&D content's not doing well, Daggerheart content also won't do well. I presume that'll be the case, but it will be nice to have a second form of income for sure. 37 watching and only 4 likes shakes my head. Yeah, if you're on YouTube, can you like the live stream, please? If you like the live stream. It literally says I have 43 likes. On that's what it says on mine. I've got 43 likes. So I'm pretty happy with that. Guelpho. I play lots of RPGs, but actually you're DMing Daggerheart campaign, a Pathfinder 2-1, and playing in a D&D one. Oh, an all-rounder. The triple threat? The reason you subscribed is because I'm making insightful Daggerheart content. Yeah. One of the main reasons that I made the change and I put the Daggerheart content on this channel is because the community that seems to be developing around that content is really awesome. Like, you guys are genuinely awesome. The fact that I have 35 viewers on YouTube right now on a live stream with like less than 3,000 subs on the channel is crazy. I would never have dreamed of that. So like the community over here is fantastic, and the D&D community also fantastic, but it very divisive, very divisive. The Bazforge, thank you for the gifted sub to the community. Who got it? Finamdar. So I'm sure Finamdar is very thankful, and so am I. So thank you for that. But yeah, the Daggerheart community, and it's not purely just, oh, you guys are fun to chat to, right? Or see comments from. That is the case. It's also that you guys are more willing to support me financially, way more than D&D. I think it's because Daggerheart's more niche, and you guys want more content, and you want that stuff, and there's not many other people doing it. But like, I've never felt like I could actually make a substantial amount of money on Patreon until the past 2 months. And now I'm like, okay, I can start turning Patreon into like an actual revenue stream where I can make hundreds of dollars a month from it. I can start making homebrew content for it and putting that up on Patreon. I've never felt like I was truly able to do that with D&D. You know, it was always just there on the side if people wanted to. So, yeah, Daggerheart fans are passionate, yeah. Will I cover other systems here? Yeah, so I think I will. I think what's going to happen is, over time, what I hope will happen is that the two channels will both get like agnostic advice, and they will almost start merging into similar channels again, which may sound counterproductive, like pointless. Like, why did I separate them if I was going to like build them up to be similar? But it may be that one channel will have a different style of content that works for it compared to the other one. And it will be nice to know that if I want to turn a live stream into a video, or I want to do a big live stream event, like playing Daggerheart on stream, or playing D&D, or playing D&D video games, or anything like that, I can do that on one channel without it affecting the other one, if that makes sense. So, but we'll see. The reality is, I'm going to make what does well. So, I'm going to make, which kind of points to, like, I'm going to make what people like, hopefully. And hopefully I don't, you know, misinterpret that and go down the route that other YouTubers are, where it's like, oh, the algorithm says that clickbait does well, so I'm only going to make clickbait stuff. We'll see. I mean, I'm not against making clickbait stuff. I've got no issue with that. I'm against people who make highly sensationalized stuff. Clickbait that is just flat out lies, I never want to do. But highly sensationalized stuff, as long as I address it instantly in the video. Some people are making a title that is like, this is the worst thing that ever happened, and they don't say what the thing is, and then you click on the video and they spend 7 minutes, and this is a real number that I saw someone doing, 7 minutes talking about nothing, and put a sponsor in there so they make $1,000, and then 7 minutes in they tell you the thing, and it's a thing that happened 2 months ago that, like, the news cycle's moved on from. And I'm like, why are people watching? Why am I watching this at this point? Surely it's a dislike and a unrecommend. If I clicked on a video that said, this is the worst thing that ever happened, and then they immediately say the thing, and then they say, and now we're going to talk about the thing for 20 minutes, then I know if I want to stay for 20 minutes or not. But I got what I came for. I know what the thing is. I'll leave. I'm fine with that. Do that all day. It's almost, the clickbait's not the problem. It's the meandering and the kind of magician, like, oh, here's this thing. Oh, nope, it's gone. You got to watch the rest of the video to find out what I'm talking about. What can we do? What can we do? I also think the D&D wallets are spread over a much wider set of creators. Yes, that is true as well. Yeah, they are, yeah. Not everyone wants to support someone on Patreon. Or they don't want to support 20 D&D creators they love. But they'll support one Daggerheart, you know? Clickbait works, that's why I'm here. Yeah. Sorry, guys. It's hard to tell for me sometimes, you know? The difference between sensationalism and clickbait. It can be hard, can be a blurry line. You're learning to be a master at baiting. Yes. A title like I was wrong about Daggerheart is clickbait. I'm in an hour ago and still don't know where you are wrong and why. I told you I was wrong. I blamed Daggerheart for ruining my channel. It was not Daggerheart. It wasn't Daggerheart. And I talked about that. Caps lock title. Okay. The caps lock title was me clickbaiting. It's crazy how that works. It's crazy how a capital letter title is like, oh, he was really wrong about it. You mentioned in another video you may explore actual gameplay uploads. Where are you on that? I was talking about earlier, actually. I really want to do an actual play. I would love to do an actual play. I don't want to do it when my channels aren't doing well. It's a risky move, I think. So I'm going to wait. Hopefully this YouTube stuff sorts itself out. Hopefully the two channels and the switching in content and the channel name all figure themselves out. Hopefully I can start getting views again. Maybe I need to figure out how to make good videos. So once that happens, once I am making enough money to like pay rent, then I will make some actual plays. Brown Fox, get out of here. Sometimes I think I sound like that. But yeah, so hopefully, probably not this year. Probably not this year. But hopefully the start of next year, I'll have everything in place to like take a risk with an actual play. Do you think that would do well though? I'm gonna change the title of this stream to that. I'm doing it. All right, let's see if this increases or decreases click-through rate if I talk like the SpongeBob meme. All right. Watch thousands of people come in here. Everyone logs off. Yeah, we also see a drop. A huge drop in concurrent viewers. Yeah, next stream, I want to talk about, and I mean this in the most loving way. I have no issue with it at all, but I would love to talk about Daggerheart's blatant and unapologetic ripping off of D&D monsters in the latest Void playtest material. I think it's insane. I think it's fine. I think it's insane. They could take everything but the actual names, and they did. They did just that. But I want to look into that more. I want to get my thoughts. I want to know exactly what they can do, because I guess that means that I can just take. They took the Displacer Beast, right, which is a large cat creature with 2 tentacles sticking out its back and 6 legs that can make duplicates of itself as like holograms to trick foes. And then Daggerheart's come out with a Doppelhound or Doppelhund, which is a large cat creature with tentacles coming out its back and 6 legs that can duplicate itself as a hologram. And they do very similar moves. Can I create my own creature called a Displacer Hound and just do the same thing? Like, what would happen with that, I wonder? In both D&D and Daggerheart, I'll release like a content on my Patreon that's both those things, but it will just be a merge of the 2 creatures. A triple hunt. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, it makes 2 duplicates of itself. It has 12 legs. And it has 6 tentacle arms. He really changed it. This guy's fearless. Yeah, man. I don't think he'll do anything. I actually think doing it all lowercase will be better. I shouldn't do uppercase. I should do lowercase. I think all lowercase is way more unhinged and makes people think, this guy's crazy. This guy's crazy. The Beholder and the Gob, what's the Gob Stomper? Is the most wild one, because in both the Beholder stat block from D&D and the Gob something, I hate the word Gob, but the version from Daggerheart, both of them say, I think the D&D one says eye beams, and I think the Daggerheart one says eye stalk beams. Beams from the eye stalks. And then both of them give you a table of 10 things where you roll a d10, and that's the attack that comes out of the eyes of these beholders. And the first one on both is the same. Number 1 on the D&D one says Charm Ray, and the one on Daggerheart I think says Beguiling Ray. It's crazy. It's so fun. Once again, I don't have an issue with what they're doing. I just find it so funny that they can do that. The Displacer Beast was kind of a knockoff of a those Black Destroyer, so what are you going to do? Don't get me wrong, like, there's nothing's being created that is original anymore. And I'm sure D&D is, I mean, they stole halflings, right? Halflings were originally hobbits stolen from Tolkien. I find it funny that they could have made the Doppelhund have 4 legs like a normal big cat. They didn't have to give it tentacle arms. They could have given it something else. And it wouldn't have changed it mechanically in any way, shape, or form. It wouldn't have changed the way it plays. They could have made it a dog instead of a cat. Well, they did, I guess. I guess they... double hunt. What am I talking about? But they could have made it anything. I've kind of shot myself in the foot there because they did. They made it a dog. But they left it with 2 tentacle arms and 6 legs with the exact same abilities, and I find that so funny. Daggerheart could pull a Nintendo and file a patent for Gobstalker, that's the word, yeah, and sue WotC. That'd be so funny. Oh, the videos, the clickbait videos I could make if Daggerheart sued WotC. Oh, the income. Just think about it. We'd be rich. I'd be making actual plays non-stop. They want it to be obvious what it's supposed to be. Yeah, they want people to know that it is a Displacer Beast. I think maybe they've done it so close as to make it seem like they're not trying to rip them off, right? Because if they made a Displacer Beast but legally distinct, you know, if they changed just enough things to make it not the Displacer Beast, that looks more sus. Because that looks like you copied their homework and then tried to make out that you did it yourself. But by copying it so precisely, they're just saying, yeah, this is what this is. We took this. This is for people who want to play with Displacer Beasts. Here's the Displacer Beasts. It's a dog now. So maybe that's it. It looks more like an AI copy of a Displacer Beast. Oh, I'm not getting into that. Well, think of all those minis they have sitting in the drawers. They got to keep them useful. That is true. Why did they make it a hound? That's kind of screwed the pooch a little bit. But yeah, that is actually a really good point. Yeah, D&D fans, you can now use your Beholder minis in Daggerheart with the Gobstalker. Oh, Gobstalker. Gobstalkers. I can't say that. Oh god, it sounds like we might have like another Hawk Tour girl on our hands, where they're just like, but with extra spaces after a random word. I was wrong about Daggerheart. Yeah, but Daggerheart would have lowercase as well. I think that's it. I think I'm blanked. I'm gonna change the name of this this channel back because I don't want it to go as a VOD with that insane title. I was about and my how about this? How about if I and my YouTube channel? How about that? Is that less clickbaity? I was talking about Daggerheart on my YouTube channel. On my channel. Little insider baseball for you guys. You can't have a YouTube title that is more than 50 characters. Otherwise it gets cut off. I was talking about Daggerheart on my channel. So, done. Done. Yeah, I hate it. I hate clickbait. But if I didn't say, if I went the other way and only it said exactly what everything was about in the title, I'd get no views. That's a sad reality. Gobstalkers makes you think from a candy. Yeah, gobsmackers, right? Oh, a good gobsmacker. Hey, we all clicked it. Yeah, but most of you didn't like. I don't want it to be an experience when you're like, oh. Or like the I guess the problem is that a lot of creators, not in the D&D space, but in other spaces, have like created the art of the clickbait title where like people are like, well, you got me. I'm in here now. Congratulations. And it's like a game to them. You clicked use the Discord message. Thank you, ChatGPT. Yes. If anyone wants to come in and chat about Daggerheart in Discord or D&D in the Discord, that's the biggest issue with splitting the channels up. Is I still have one Patreon and one Discord. I guess they're just TTRPG based, but it's harder to like pull people in. What I've been meaning to do and what my mods have told me to do and I haven't done yet, and I'm sorry mods, is make separate D&D and Daggerheart channels in the Discord, or like roles, like Cool Cylinder, where it would be like people would only, if they don't want to see D&D stuff, they don't have to see D&D stuff. And if they want Daggerheart stuff, they don't have to see the other stuff. I clicked it and I still have no idea what you were wrong about. Lol, I joined late. I like the mystery though. Do you want to know? Or do you never want to know? Sparrow. Do you want this to be one of those things where you'll just never know? Or do you want me to give you the rundown? Thank you for the follow. You never want to know. I respect that. I respect that so much. Yeah. What if it's crazy? What if it's like Daggerheart killed my family? What if it's... what if you need to know? No, it's not. You can just go back to the start of the stream over on YouTube and you'll be fine. Yeah, rewatch the stream. I mean, if you always do this, it becomes a... Yeah. Well, my next stream's going to be, I was right about Daggerheart. You know? It's a gold mine. Unlimited. Darrington Press, yeah. Darrington Press are suing me that's a good video title. But also, that's a bad state of affairs. But my god, would that video do well. It would be, Darrington Press is suing me, and the thumbnail would be like the one I'm using in this one, where it's just me looking real sad at the camera. You know? Easy to make, easy to do. I was wrong about Daggerheart. I didn't think we were getting new domains before 2026 Q3. Yeah. They're releasing stuff at a nice steady rate. I like it. They're good. They're good at marketing over there. Darrington pressed you into releasing content. I will quit Daggerheart forever. Yeah. What about... They sent the Pinkertons after me. What if I did something like that, you know? That would be entirely made up, though, I guess. That would be legitimate clickbait, you know? The title is, they sent the Pinkertons after me, and then the video is like, it feels like they sent the Pinkertons after me. But they didn't. Yeah, the Canadian Pinkertons, the Mounties. God, I always found the Pinkerton stuff so funny, because, like, the outrage is real. They sent people around to someone's house. For anyone who doesn't know this, Wizards of the Coast sent some people around to someone's house because a creator got their hands on a Magic the Gathering card or set of cards, I don't actually know, early, but they got their hands on something that they weren't supposed to have yet. So they sent people around to their house, and the people banged on the door and were like, you got to give that to us. And they put their foot in the door or something, and they made the creator's wife cry, and it was absolute rage bait mill for like a month. It's all people talked about. It was the company they sent were or used to be the Pinkertons, who I don't know a lot about American history, but were some bad people at some point, who did this kind of thing. And like, it was like, oh, of course, you know, the way it read, and I don't think this is fair, but the way some people were talking about it was as if Wizards of the Coast had hired the Nazis to go get this card. People hated it. And I just found it always funny because it's a bad thing, but like, we understand that that company's not the same as it once was, right? Like, it was like the 1940s that the Pinkertons were like an issue, right? Or like, it was decades ago at the very least. So we all kind of are agreeing to like blow this a little bit out of proportion. We all know the people at that company are completely different now. But we also all know that they should never have done that, and it was really, really, really bad. And we also we know that WotC didn't do this on purpose, because they wouldn't have wanted this kickback. WotC probably had a company that deals with this stuff who outsourced it to this other company, or they had this company and didn't realize the implications. But like, it's just so funny that it happened to be this Pinkerton's company. It's just so funny that like the PR people of the day must be like, oh no, we sent people around to this house and they made the wife cry. This is bad. People are talking about it. What do you mean it gets worse? Like, what do you mean it gets worse? Yeah, you'll never know the secret about Daggerheart's good. I think that's fine. Like I said, if I say you'll never know this secret about Daggerheart, that's not clickbait, I don't think. Because as long as I tell you the secret, and I tell you quickly, I don't think that's clickbait. Because you know what you're getting. You're getting a video about some kind of Daggerheart secret. Depends what the secret is. If the secret's not really a secret at all, that's a different issue. But yeah. But if it was like... I mean, real hardcore clickbait is the stuff that is just like this scandal. And it's not a scandal. It's just not a scandal. It's like, well, you said there was a scandal and there's no scandal. So it's clickbait. But you said there was a secret and there was a secret. So I guess it's fine, but kind of annoying. I'm suing Daggerheart would get clicks. Just got to figure out why you would sue them. We don't really need a reason. Yeah, I sued Matthew Mercer. Matthew Mercer, if you ever somehow see this, can I sue you for funds? Like, just funsies? Like, I'll sue you without spending any money, hopefully. You won't lose any money. We'll cancel the whole thing, but I get a video out of it. That'd be pretty sweet. What did I change the channel name to? It wasn't on my screen. I didn't change the channel name. I changed the title of this video. Wizards of the Coast tried for almost a week to contact the guy another way, and he didn't respond. Also, he knew it was an unreleased set and used a contact inside of the distributors to get the set early. Wow, I'm so happy that I was scared when I started talking about that. I'm like, oh shit, I can't be a Pinkerton apologizer. They're going to attack me. But if that's all true, Bards, then yeah, and I believe it. Like, the whole thing was crazily blown up. You know, whether it's out of proportion or not depends on the person talking about it. But like, I still get comments now when I talk about Wizards of the Coast, where I say, okay, you know, there's this new book that's coming out, and someone will comment being like, be careful, I might send the Pinkertons after you. And I'm just like, come on, how long is this going to be a thing for? Streaming until Daggerheart sponsors me, yeah. Daggerheart Destroyed My Life is a great title. That's a really, really solid title. And I can do that. I could make that title if my YouTube views continue to go downhill. And I can't afford to eat anymore. I can be like, yeah, Daggerheart Destroyed My Life. Kind of. No, I can't, because it wouldn't. It's more my fault still, but Daggerheart played a part in destroying my life. Daggerheart cost me a life. When a player character has died, would be acceptable bait. No way. I would be fuming. It depends on the thumbnail as well. Daggerheart took a life. The Daggerheart killer. Daggerheart, the bloodbath begins. Help me double my viewership threshold. Yeah. There's a lot of fun we can have with clickbait, guys. Yeah. I know I've blurred the line sometimes. I don't think I've ever crossed it. I don't think I've ever done that, like, really egregious clickbait. I think the people who are doing it, that we're seeing do it, know they're doing it. Because it's in the comments. It's all over the place. You guys would tell me if I was, like, taking it too far. So the people who are really egregiously doing it are like, I'm just like, guys, come on. Like, you know you're doing it and you don't care, which is just the anti-creator. Like, you don't care about your audience. It really doesn't. Like, you just care about the views and the money, which is a shame. You wish thumbnails and the almighty algorithm didn't have a weight, but it does. Oh, it has all the power. It holds all the power. And I'll be interested to know. I should reach out and ask. I've been scared. I should reach out and ask other creators in the D&D space if they're experiencing the lower views as well. I'm scared of asking because they're all going to be like, no, not affecting our space. Must just be you, Phil. Must just be you and your shitty content. Have you tried making better content, dude? Have you tried making good content? And I'll be like, okay, guys, calm down. Calm down. My channel is way too small and it's still just a hobby for me, but I hope I don't need to start using them. Yeah. It's always a choice as well. It's always a choice. The need thing is unnecessary. But unless you are someone who relies on this for income and has kids and stuff, and it would be very difficult to, like, go and get another job, then maybe you have to rely on clickbait stuff to keep money on the table, I guess. But yeah. Honestly, is it because the algorithm for YouTube D&D isn't connected to Daggerheart? Oh, what do you mean? You mean, like, views would be low on my D&D channel, but not on my Daggerheart channel because they're completely separate? It may become a source of income, but not primary. Yeah, if I can give you some, like, just out of the blue advice that you didn't ask for, the amazing Axor, I wish I hadn't tried to go full time as soon as I did. It's a weird thing where I'm glad I did. I love this as, like, a job. It was like, apart from money, my life has improved in every other aspect. And, you know, you're never going to have everything, but, like, I'm very happy apart from being financially unstable. And, like, for me, that's worth it. I talk to other people and they're like, no, I want to be financially stable. I want to buy nice things. I want to afford everything. I don't want to have to, like, worry about that I can't afford, like, the dentist or whatever. But then they will work 60 hours a week at a job they hate and get stressed out and, like, yeah, I don't know. It really depends what you want from stuff. But I got forced into it as well. I was laid off from work and I was kind of like, well, I'm just gonna try doing this full time. And I've kept an eye on other jobs coming up and haven't found anything yet. I'm sure I could if I, you know, really went for it. But I do wish, I'm glad I got laid off, but I wish I got laid off later down the line. I wish I had just kept growing the channel as a hobby first, because your relationship with it definitely changes. I never cared about money before. The first 30,000 subscribers on my channel, I never cared about money. It was nice, and sometimes I would take sponsorships, or I'd ask people to go to my Patreon or whatever, but I never really cared that much. It was just kind of what people did. and I was kind of just experimenting with it. But I would like drop $500 on a video. You know, I would like just drop a bunch of money on like D&D accessories, for example, and make a video about it. Now I just can't do that. I can't like drop a bunch of money on a video, which would make a video better. So it's kind of it's like made me a worse creator. Yeah, it seems that everyone is on echo chamber and not finding it. Hold on. From a standpoint of a creator of an own TTRPG and working marketing, the issue I see is that no one is searching for something else than D&D, right? It's a paraphrase for all TTRPGs, right? Yeah, D&D is like a Goliath when it comes to being searched for. One thing I asked myself, because Pathfinder does really well still, but like, if you have creators that get hundreds of thousands of views, I have D&D videos that have gotten 1 million views, right? Which is wild for me to say. But Daggerheart right now is a 20th the size. So like the most an average creator is going to be pulling, like the ceiling for Daggerheart stuff is like 50k right now. Like if you are a Daggerheart creator and if you're getting over 50k views on a video, then holy crap, you are very, very good at what you're doing. And that's just the case of how niche it is. Like, yeah, D&D's not that niche. This is the reality. It's just not that niche anymore. But everything else is. Like, but that's not to say that it can't ever get as big or it can't do that. It's just, it had such a great start that there's been a drop-off, but that's only natural. And I believe even after the drop-off, Daggerheart is still a lot more popular than it should be. than it should be as a new game. Just look at my videos that get pulling thousands of views. Right now, when I make a Daggerheart video, a D&D video on my channel, and it gets 10k views, or I make a Daggerheart video on this channel and it gets 2 or 3k views, that's a really good metric. That's really, really good. The fact that I can get 39 people watching me on YouTube in a live stream talking about Daggerheart is really, really good and really, really promising. So we'll just have to wait and see. I also kind of trust Darrington Press a surprising amount. After dealing with Wizards of the Coast for so long in the nicest possible way, Darrington Press seems really competent and they're making some really smart moves. I think everything they've done so far, I'm not sure if they've flopped yet. Except maybe the Daggerheart D&D announcement a little bit. But I don't count Darrington Press as doing that. That's Critical Role. But Darrington Press with the releases, with the information about Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford, with the Void releases coming out, with the latest one coming out, that's really good. With the actual plays that they're pumping out on their main channel, with their partnerships with other actual play folks. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing what the Legend of Adventurous actual play will do in general to Daggerheart. Like, I think we'll see an uptick there. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of trust them. I think they've got a plan. They wouldn't just be doing this to be another barely sustainable business. Like, they're in it for the long haul. So, Insight check. What's going on? Hey, I was just watching the beginning of the stream. Just letting you know I'm seeing all the same things over here in terms of massive drops in viewership. Good to know. I mean, bad to know. Bad to know. But good to know that it's just not me. It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. It's kind of scary. I just hope they fix it sooner rather than later. Maybe on my Daggerheart channel, do something to pull in D&D players, like pausing a campaign or a specific class. It's not a bad idea. Like, how to... Because those videos about taking the Bell's Hells D&D characters and shifting them to Daggerheart seems to be doing well, so maybe I could do something like that. Cthulhu killed Daggerheart, yeah. Get those Cthulhu players. Candela Obscura bombed hard. Yeah. That to me is the biggest evidence of why they did not use Daggerheart for Campaign 4. They probably thought Daggerheart was going to do similarly. And I'm sure Candela Obscura, like, earned their money back. And I think that might have been what they were planning with Daggerheart. Like, let's get our money back, on to the next one. But I truly believe with the success it's found already, they are like, okay, well, let's keep going with this one. And now we're here. But they couldn't have switched up the Campaign 4 plans. The D&D Campaign 4, it only bombed in the sense of a small subset of the community. Yeah, when I say that the Campaign 4 announcement that they're using D&D negatively affected Daggerheart, I don't mean it in a way that, like, it affected how good it was doing currently. I mean the potential. If Campaign 4 used Daggerheart, then I think over the course of the next 3 years, Daggerheart would have slowly become 3 or 4 times the size it is going to be. Like, it truly would have, like, I don't know. This also, once again, comes from a content creator perspective, where I can see the analytics, and I can tell you right now that all my Daggerheart videos would have, like, tripled or quadrupled in views if they had said we're playing Daggerheart. Like, it just would have happened. The algorithm would have just pushed it all out. So, like, kind of bummed me out a little bit, but once again, it's coming from a very entitled, unnecessarily and unearned, untitled YouTuber. Casey, imagine playing Colossus of the Dryland on the floor and having a person fill in as a giant mini. Yeah. Like, that should be the DM. The GM should get on the floor and he run the game from down there and just be like, okay, where is your mini right now? Is it on my shoulder? Is that on my shoulder that I can feel? Dude, if I was into, like, making sketch shorts, that short would do incredibly well. My players playing on top of me. Candela as a viewing medium was okay, but I think it has found tables to be at home yet. I think Candela is, like, doing as well as, like, other TTRPGs, probably. I see it in my local friendly neighborhood game stores, and it sells. And I see a bunch of other TTRPGs I've never heard of next to it that maybe don't sell. So I think it's fine. It's just, when you compare it to, like, Daggerheart's success, it's not as good. They are going to be running a long-form Daggerheart campaign. It's still going to happen. No doubt. No doubt. And hopefully we get that announcement soon. I'm sure, like, they'll do Age of Umbra. I'm hoping the Age of Umbra Season 2 is, like, more than 8 episodes long. I hope it's, like, a 30, 40 episode campaign. But I have no doubt if they went with Campaign 4 for Daggerheart, it would have shifted the tides of everything a little bit more. And instead, they kind of reverted. You got a toddler be the Colossus. That's so funny. Guess it's really niche, and especially in Germany, it needs to wait for a translation. Yeah, it's still new. It's still so new. It's so new still. We also play in English if we want to speak out of character. Oh, that's so interesting. You do that in Germany as well? It's so... Okay. Yeah. Give it time. Give it time, guys. The other part of a lot of my issues with the whole Daggerheart on Campaign 4 announcement is just impatience. It's just me being impatient and like not giving it enough time to really breathe and not thinking in the long term. And that's again why I kind of made this second channel, to capitalize on that long term thing. Because if I can get this up to 10,000 subscribers over the next year or two, then as Kickstarter starts, I'm looking at the Dagger Best Kickstarter page right now. As Daggerheart really starts to slowly build over time, I feel like I could be one of those OG, you know, like the Matt Covilles or Ginny D's of the world, who would just kind of like have been honing their craft for so long and kind of played the long game and now in like really good positions. So we'll see. We don't know. Daggerheart could flop next year. It might just like die a quiet death. I don't think so. I'm hoping Critical Role won't let that happen just out of sheer willpower. God knows they have that power, but I know it's all taking risks. Shouldn't affect the way you play your games at home, though, of course. I'm one of the first in this space presently coming across your screen. Yeah. There are a few others. I might do a video, actually, about the best Daggerheart creators. Both, like, just, like, Daggerheart Tube, which we'll christen, and from actual players as well. Because there are a few Daggerheart actual players that are really coming out of the woodwork that I'd love to point people towards. And it's a question I keep hearing a lot as well, is like, do you recommend any Daggerheart actual players that we can watch and get a feel for the game that isn't Age of Umbra? And I'm like, yeah, here's a whole bunch of them. And that's a great point, ChatGPT. Yeah, there are people out, it will never die if you play at home. And there are people who still play every single TTRPG under the sun and have a lot of fun with it and like it's worthwhile for them. The only thing that'll die is my channel. I'll pick up once the launch. I'm doing okay currently. Like, hold on, let me look at my analytics for this channel. Bearing in mind, I got the boost from my other channel. But that video that boosted the other channel only got 10,000 views, right? That's not a lot to say that I pulled in like 1,000 subscribers from that video. Like 1/10 of the people who watched my old Daggerheart video, my Daggerheart's killing my D&D channel video, came and subscribed, which is wild. And now, if I look at my analytics, I've got to be... I guess I can show you because I'm not monetized, so... Hold on. I kind of don't want to risk it, but this month on this channel, I got 17,000 views and 2,000 subscribers. That is more subscribers than my main channel got. Albeit like 1,000 of them are straight from the other video, but it's like picking up steam. Picking up steam. As long as I just keep making videos for it, I think there's no reason why this can't like get up there with my D&D video. I did the copy these Daggerheart phrases video, which is like my a flagship video from like the style is like a flagship thing from my other channel, which I may need to change up. And that got 5k views and is still getting views. So I don't like that's an evergreen video that will hopefully keep picking up views. And then my Daggerheart update video, which was just a live stream that I edited in like honestly 30 minutes after a live stream, that got 3,200 views. Now that's probably going to die off now because it's news related. Yeah, it kind of has. But if I just got into the style of like streaming daily and then turning them into Daggerheart videos, and each one got like 3k views, I like that would slowly build up an audience over time, and I could very happily live like that. The other reason why it's nice to have two channels is I can kind of see the health of Daggerheart compared to the health of D&D as well. Because you know, if one channel's doing really badly and one's doing really well, I can see that. But yeah, I instantly subscribed to my second channel. Thank you, thank you. Knights of Last Call and Mike Underwood are both good non-actual play Daggerheart content. Yeah, they'll be on my list. ADHD and all that. I can't say I hear that, Ezio, because I've not been diagnosed, but I hear it. You know? I get it. Still Cage, what's going on? I really liked the thumbnail where Venom was holding a dirt block. Lol. Awesome video. That's the other channel. Then we will not be talking about that channel over here. That video was flopping. That's why I kind of made this video about the YouTube algorithm, because I was very proud of that thumbnail in particular. It's Ben and Lee Mulligan. He's holding a Minecraft block, and the title says like clickbaity. It was like how pro DMs stop your players from getting bored. A big issue, I think, in D&D. And the title said, like, the thumbnail word said the hook formula. And I was like, oh man, this video is going to do well. And then it was a 10 out of 10. It was the worst video I've made during this period of really bad videos. And that's when I was like, this can't be me. It probably is me. It probably still is me. But that's when I was like, oh, there's a bigger issue here. Like, my content is not connecting to the audience anymore. Whether that's my fault, the content's fault, or the algorithm's fault, or whatever, I don't know, but holy. A lot of channels you watch stream live, then clip the lives into vids or shorts. Yeah. It's a very fun way of doing things. I have noticed that in the D&D space, the audience does not like it. People don't like seeing that chat. This. No, that's not the chat. Well, the chat in this corner of the screen. People don't like seeing that. When they click on a video, they don't want it to feel like they're rewatching old content, I think. They want to feel like they're watching scripted, highly produced content. But the goal of this is that I can pump it out. For the people who don't mind watching it, they get, you know, triple the amount of videos. Just a thought, the thumbnail should have been people around their table on their phones. Okay, Bad Fudge. I'm going to note that down. I'm currently testing 3 other different thumbnails. I think I've got a good one, to be honest. But I may try that. The problem is finding people who will sit around a table on their phones that I can take a photo of. Maybe I can ask my players tonight if they'll pose. Because another big turn off for thumbnails is when people think they are like stock footage. Or AI, God forbid. Make it smaller in the corner and then cut it out. Yeah, it's... I need to think of something to do with it in general. Well, my camera died. But this is my normal chat, so it takes up the whole side, which I like for you guys to see. The other thing is I just get rid of it completely. Like, I don't need it. The only reason it's there is so that you guys can see if someone on Twitch messages something. Or someone on YouTube. Or, I don't know, do you guys like seeing your... If you click on a video of mine and the chat's up there, are you like, oh, I might be on here? But, I don't know. As you DM, you're going to place Subway Surfer clips over your head to keep your party from getting distracted. That's another option. Cut up streams, I would either crop the chat out or add it in the title, like condensed stream info. You could copy the format from Twitch streamers. What do you mean? Cut up? Either crop the chat out or add it in the title? What do you mean add it in the title? The puzzle vid will pop off. Dude, I saw what I do think is a phenomenal thumbnail. I don't think he'll mind me showing it off. Okay, we're gonna have to do this without my face there. But Power Word Spill put out this video 5 hours ago, and look at that thumbnail. How good is that thumbnail? Very good is the answer. The colors pop, like the fact that he's blurry, which I don't want to say that I popularized this because I stole it from someone else, but my dice video has my face blurred out with the dice out in front, like this. And I would like to think, I may be wrong, but I'd like to think that he was inspired by that for this video. But my God, did I see this and think, okay, maybe I do need to up my thumbnail game, because that's really solid. I hope it does well. 1.1k views in 5 hours. I think that's pretty good.
You have a D&D session in.
I have a little cheat sheet here of, on the top right here, this is the view stats thing, which anyone can download. And it tells you how well a video is doing. And it looks like it's doing well. It looks like it's within his sphere on the upper side compared to his usual views. So the grey line is how he usually does. And then we can actually see that he's trying out 2 different thumbnails here. Both are good. He's good at thumbnails. He's very good at thumbnails. I think this one will win. But we'll see. We'll see which one does the best out of those 2. We'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, go watch that. That's a puzzle vid. Go watch that instead. Stop relying. Stop waiting for me. Oh, I understand. I get what you're saying, ChatGPT. Yeah. Hold on. Chat just popped off a little bit. I need to catch up. I'm not a professional YouTuber or anything, but I always like thumbnails that have 3 main things for your eyes to focus on. Oh, yeah? Personally, I really like Ludwig's stream to video format. He does his stream segments the same way he would record a YouTube video. Yeah. Ludwig's been a big inspiration for like the direction I've been trying to take my live streams. It's not easy though. It's like a whole learning curve of just how to be on stream. So we'll see. Sometimes it just takes time to get good at stuff. Squidmar minis, their thumbnails are on point. They're on point. Do they make them themselves or do they have a thumbnail guy? Alright, catch you later, Brown Fox. Regarding thumbnails, Professor DM, Dungeons and Discourse, and others have a set of images of the creator's face that they reuse. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. People have said that they like my thumbnails. So, obviously not well enough. I think my issue is not thumbnails, it's like video topics. But I thought this one would do well. I thought how pro D&D DMs would how pro D&D DMs stop players getting bored, I thought would do well. I also thought Daggerheart is crushing my D&D channel viewership would also do really well, but no. No. Yeah, like I look at some of my titles, I'm like, these are good. But then that's probably the enemy, isn't it? I need to look at these and think, these aren't good enough. How do I make them better? Yeah, my thumbnails are amazing. Thank you. think my thumbnails are well, thanks, Corsander. Question regarding streaming and actual play, how long do you usually play for, and would you alter that for filming? Well, I've never done an actual play, so I cannot answer that, Svinder. Yeah, if I was going to do it, I'd just try and keep it like a normal game. So I'd film for 3 hours and I'd try and edit it as little as possible, but I would ask the players to be really precise and concise with everything they do, and remember we're filming. Daggerheart might be bigger if you could buy a copy. I'm sorry you're going through that if you're trying to get your hands on one and can't. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. I wonder if they shot themselves in the book by releasing it with cards, and that's like just an added thing, because they've got to make the book, the cards, the box for the cards. Why is it called an actual play? Is it opposed to a fictional? I don't know where the term actual play actually comes from. I know, like, with video gaming, the term was let's plays. And then I guess, I don't know, does anyone know where actual play came from? You'd say live play? Yeah, I think the confusion there is that people might think it's actually live. And very few are nowadays. Oh my god, it's 5:19. All right, guys, I have to go. I gotta go. Help clean the house and gotta go to the shop and buy some snacks and stuff. You guys have been fantastic as always. I kind of wanted to edit. This is the problem with streaming. I wanted to edit down some of these sections we talked about today into videos. Such as making a I was wrong about Daggerheart video, but hopefully I get to it over the weekend. And yeah, you guys have been fantastic as always, and yes, catch you later.